Good day, everyone, and welcome to tonight's study session. We will be looking at the big blind defending against opens from the low jack, under the gun 1, and under the gun as we wrap up our series on defending the big blind at 40 big blinds. So early on, we looked at the big blind defending against the button at 40 big blinds. And we saw that there was a pretty robust jamming strategy, mixing a few 3-bets with pairs and finding jams with your best offsuit Broadway hands here with king queen, with queen jack, with king queen, with ace queen, with ace jack, and slivers of king 7 and ace deuce. And as we went around, we noticed that the all-in portion started to drop out when we went through the cutoff. Became much less pronounced and kind of maintains some of these middling jams with ace queen and pocket fours. And at the end of the study, we looked at pocket nines and ace queen, no longer full frequency jamming, but still there with a couple of bluff jams as well here. And today, when we move into the low jack, we see that there is no longer a jamming component as part of the defense. We've also moved from defending against the button, where we would be defending our offsuit sixes, to now we are no longer defending our offsuit sixes and primarily not defending our offsuit sevens, just defending our offsuit eights. And that will continue as a trend here. We've also noticed that when we were looking at how to target our 3-bets, particularly the non-all-in ones, when we were deeper stacked, we were choosing hands that block the top of their range with a relevant blocker like a king or an ace a lot of the time, and would be able to attack the bottom of the opener's range. So the button would be opening the offsuit eights and the suited fives. And so we found that we were attacking with sevens and sixes on the offsuit side here, as well as king 7. As we progress through the cutoff, who is sixes and nines, we found that we were heavily attacking with these offsuit eights and a few sevens. And then once we started into the hijack, we start running out of hands that we can attack the bottom of their range with from the offsuit side. We just have a couple of these nines and eights. So we started to have to pull from the suited side. And today, we'll see even more of that as we move along. We still have some attacks with the bottom of our offsuit range that contains a relevant blocker, but we start to pull more in the suited side here as hands that have better equity and better playability post-flop against the tighter, more compressed range of the early positions. Again, we look at it here, and as we start 3-bet bluffing less with hands like ace queen and flatting with them, and having more and more hands that are strong to protect our range, we have less value hands that we're betting, so we have less bluffs. So we start to play a more linear range against the very early positions that has a smattering of bluffs and a lot of calls that have a chance to make a high equity hand like a flush or a flush draw on the flop. And we see that even more so here, right? Where ace queen becomes primarily a call to defend against under the gun. King 9, the offsuit nines attacking the bottom of the opening range, which is the offsuit 10s here, which we will start mixing, right? With queen 10 off and king 10 off even. As well as our jack 9, our 10-9, and our 9-8. And we start seeing our ace range getting compressed as well. kind of a weird anomaly with king six here. If you ever find this, you are a solver. All right, without further ado, let's move into some GTO wizard training work and see how much trouble we can get into against these early position tight ranges. 9-8 suited.
All in.
All in. Wait.
That
It
is
seems
trouble,
though.
Nikolai.
Attacking the bottom of range, probably not a good option here with this combo. Blocking the bottom of range.
Yeah, this is a pretty attractive call.
I agree.
Pretty attractive call. Low frequency 3-bet. Surprising, but
Yeah, I don't like that.
You have it's just the residual effect of the 9, how it interacts with the low jack, I think.
Yeah, it's just below the bottom of their range.
Mhm.
yeah. And along the pair axis, so it makes a straight, wants to play.
Right.
All right, we get this flop. We are probably just going to be checking 100% range.
High frequency fold. When I say
Yeah.
high, I mean full frequency.
Yeah, pure fold.
Not very much to this one.
You
If
have a
bet, like,
backdoor
one-
straight. Come on, let's
Well,
go.
see,
Just
if he
kidding.
bet
Oh.
like, if he bet like one big blind, you might be able to check raise this, like a smidge.
Ooh, spicy. All right, well, he just had nuts. I think we're gonna see a lot of checking and folding here today. All right, well. no,
This
we're
is
gonna
a very
defend this,
premium call.
And we're gonna have a hard time playing post flop. Now,
First
Paired
question,
7.
right? Do you
Yeah.
ever lead?
he does not have cards here.
I would say low frequency. I like playing check raise more on this type of board, I think.
Do you have leads on paired boards, Galen?
Very low frequency. I don't do it a
Okay.
lot personally in game, but
That's not a part of my poker game. The way I look at my range is that, like, from a big blind perspective, I'm gonna miss this flop a whole of a hell lot more than anything. So if you start adding a leading strategy, to me, it's just so hard to balance.
well, it is.
Cause
And
you have to balance not only your checks, you have to balance your leads. So you have, it's like doubling your strategy effectively.
and I feel like a lot of population just kind of has overcorrected on big blind leads anyways. I feel like you just get clicked or raised way more than you probably should. So it's I
Gonna
just
buy
like
that.
playing check raise.
A couple
Oh,
of
yeah.
notes about the idea of leading here. You'll
Mhm.
notice there's only one size. You are only leading small, like
Yep.
quarter or 1/3 pot. And if you get a card on the turn that is going to be your card or lower, you're probably going to continue with that sizing. And it is not a very dominant part of the strategy.
Not at all, yeah.
Did you
Highly-
filter your sizing on purpose?
Nope, this contains all possible sizings. Right? And this is all possible flops in this situation for the under the gun versus the big blind. Yeah, there's just not going to be any change in sizing here, and you're primarily going to lead on flops where you have a chance to have locked up equity with a flop straight or a flop 2 pair or better.
Yeah, those little straight boards are the ones where it gets a little excited.
This hand particularly checks. I bet if you had the 10 of spades, you would find a lead with this hand. Well, if you had 10-4 with the spades, maybe you're finding a lead here.
Yeah,
I
maybe
don't,
so.
I don't think often. I think it's still like a check fold, check raise.
So I was gonna say, do we continue ever? Probably not.
We're going to have
If you-
enough combos of spades here to defend, and enough sevens, and enough fives, and enough straights that we're just going to have a lot of better hands to defend in this.
Yep.
I agree.
I wonder if the hearts, what do the hearts do? 10-4 of hearts would be an interesting one. It's probably like paper thin.
four
Yeah, it's
hearts.
I think that one actually probably will raise some. Probably mostly a fold.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
And 4 of hearts.
So
we have better hearts to defend.
Yeah, it's just, there's not enough.
What about like 6x of hearts, 6, 9, 6, 10 of hearts?
6, 8, so that's not good enough.
Those are the offsuity ones, yeah.
9, 8 of hearts. Yeah.
Those are, what about like the suited version? So like 6, 10 of hearts, what's that doing? 6, 9 of hearts? Yeah,
There you go.
Depends. Better ones.
Right, so it just,
So-
it wants the high card, not the low card there.
it wants up straight possibilities.
Yeah,
Or yeah, or over, I guess, cuz like 6 queen, 6 king were in there too.
yeah, it's just drawing to the gutter as opposed. Queen 7, queens are not great here. I think this is just a call.
I fold.
Fold.
Yeah.
Okay. You are right. Let's take a look.
It's gotta be queen 8.
I think
remember we
queen
talked
8
about
might mix. I think it's
against-
queen 9.
Against under the gun, we're starting to
Wow.
defend our queens, our 8s. Right? Then
I am definitely overzealous here. I mean, we are 40, I guess.
Yeah. Well, like, do you think you defend more often shallower?
You
I mean,
do,
deeper rather, sorry.
not these offsuit combos, no.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I think like at 100 big blinds, we're gonna be tighter than this.
Yeah, it may even mix the queen 9.
Oh, another one, the fringe. Another fold?
This
Or is
is
this gonna be
like
deeper?
probably a fold or like mixing calls.
Fold.
I think this is a fold.
Yeah,
We'll have to feel along the minutia of the end of range there. Just-
I'd call here.
Yep, very low EV call, but welcome to the party. Paired ace 4.
Yeah, pretty easy. Check, let go.
You're gonna see a lot of that, and the thing that you're gonna see here, because we're seeing so much of that, recognize that that hey, when we play against these early positions, you're just gonna have a lot of hands that you give up.
Yeah,
this
for
one-
sure. This one
Who
plays
wants-
pretty easy, yeah.
100%.
Not all in for sure.
100% range. Yeah.
100%, yes.
All right. 100%. Great job, guys. This is one of the hands that is going to weather the storm. It's going to find ace king offsuit here, and it's going to stack it for all the.
So I think 9s are pretty close. Suited 9s, he's probably still flatting some. He's gonna have some jack 10s. I'm just torn between, I do wanna bet. I just don't know if I wanna go smaller or larger here. I think because it's paired and this does interact well, I'd probably go that 5.
I think this is a very high frequency, just range about small on these paired boards like this.
Yeah,
Cause we have a lot more pairs than he does, and our pairs are better than his.
I think. Hi guys, so I think it's actually checking here because he actually has 9s in his range and it's not so good for us. If it would be a bit lower, it probably has maybe some leads, but yeah.
But we have,
I don't
He
think
ha-
it checks, but I think it just bets like a small bit.
I don't even think he has any 9s in range. I think all of his 9s fold. Maybe ace 9 sets some, no, I think it's still a fold. I don't think he has any 9s.
Wait, do
I
you
think,
think
he has
you think he
suited
doesn't
9s
have
here, I think.
9s?
He should have
No.
some suited 9s, I think.
What suited 9s called 3-bet?
So I think.
Oh, it's a 3
Ace 9 does.
yeah. Like if
But that's
we
only
had
2
the-
combos. I don't
Yeah,
know if
then-
King 9 does.
I don't think any of his 9s called a 3-bet because that's like the bottom of his suited range, right? So he's gonna fold those and call with the suited stuff that can make a straight.
You're pretty close, Nick. I'm looking at the range now and it's like, you got fragments of king 9, ace 9, and pocket nines. He really does not have a lot of nines here.
So it's just gonna want
Okay,
to
I thought
and
it was
push back.
SRP, so.
Wow, it
So-
sizes up some too.
I thought it might size up some. I would have gone small.
Yeah, I would just range bet small because it's so hard to defend for him.
Yeah, I would be range betting small too here.
I
But
think it's probably sizing up a little bit because he does have a lot of suited tens here. So like you gotta work a little harder for the queen tens, the king tens, the jack tens.
Important to note, never ever checking.
Yes.
so his range is gonna contain primarily only ace nine. So if we didn't have the ace king of diamonds, if we had the ace king of clubs or spades, we would be more relevantly blocking his nine here and would drive down our bet size.
So do you think you're betting smaller more frequently with the spade combos?
Let's take a peek. See.
I think blocking his continues would incentivize a bet.
So if we take a look at the ace king.
No, you're
combo,
right. You're definitely right, Pete.
when we block the chance of him to have the nine of clubs or the nine of spades, it wants us to bet bigger more often here because we're protected
Mhm.
against the chance that he has a nine, and we unblock the the stuff that is not a nine, which is stuff we want to make pay.
This is a highly nuanced point, but I think it's very relevant and quite often overlooked.
So I think that's why it finds this sizing so prevalently here is because
Well, no.
Yeah.
This is actually,
Right.
that 9-9 Pete was actually like the primary frequency, even though we're blocking the
Yeah.
ones he has. The other ones, it was like jamming some. It was going very big if you had the clubs, right?
Yeah, because
I think that's what you're gonna say, Ames.
Yeah, he just clubs and to a lesser degree the spades. He just doesn't have a pair here ever, or very, very frequently at all.
Right, but he
becomes
does have some
better.
high equity draws sometimes. That's a, pretty loose defend. Okay,
Queen on.
so. First,
Um,
you might pull from this, like these mid gappers are pretty popular. And it's got an
I
8.
I think it's maybe a low frequency, a primary call. Like 'cause you don't really want to have a jack either.
So that's true. I just know as like ranges get a little bit wider. These suited gappers do become pretty prevalent in the range. I don't know
Nick-
necessarily as much at 40.
I think it's
If
like a
you've got,
call like more than 90% of the time. If it's, it might have a sliver of three bets.
100% cool.
Okay, I was gonna say Nick has a foot in the bathtub, but he actually only has 2 toes in the bathtub here for raising this.
Yeah, no, not
Mhm.
even. I have
It's
like
only calling.
just my pinky toe.
Just a
Alright.
pinky.
I'm not a believer.
Wow.
Get it
Holy
into
shit.
the ankle. This
God
is the
bless.
hand.
I'm so bad at poker.
No, man. Your instincts
So
are
is
there.
it because he has an 8? That's
It's
that the low
pulling,
check doesn't have?
Romano, it's pulling from this region right here some because of how it interacts with the floor of his range.
Mhm.
And it's like, when you're 40 big blinds, it's kind of mergy, right? Like pulling from these middling gappers is a deep stack property. So it's like, if you go to 60 big blinds, it'll be like way more prevalent from that region.
I 100% agree with that.
Mhm.
So it's just, honestly, it's just mixing some of those qualities. It doesn't pull a lot from there because we get 4-bet jammed on so frequently, which you don't really wanna light the equity of like queen nine on fire, essentially, or a jack eight.
Are we three betting like any 10x? Probably not much, right?
A little bit, but see, like, notice
But
like,
only ace. 10.
it's kind of like, it's more linear on the offsuit branch now, like, you don't have the polar combos as much. It's shifted to these tens, nines, and
Suitedness,
eights.
yeah.
And
The
it's
deeper,
because,
sorry,
no, you got it. It's the deeper you are, the less likely you're gonna be getting jammed on. So you can realize equity a little bit easier. You're not gonna get pushed off as frequently. So you can
It's-
make those straights and flushes and,
it's also the additional equity in a larger pot. Like when you're 80, 100 big blinds deep, you don't wanna be in a giant pot with ace ten offsuit. You wanna
Yep.
be in there with like 7, 8 suited, where you can make a straight or flush and cooler aces or kings or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same difference. We're saying the same thing, I think.
And when you get shorter, it just decides to ball up all its equity shot with.
Yeah,
these
your
hands.
implied odds go out the window. You're just trying to make a good hand, good pair.
So this one plays fine either way, and most of us took the call route, so we'll take the lower.
60%.
road.
No, I'm not doing that enough there. Okay.
That's why, we do these series and make sure that everyone works on range construction and range interaction. Check. We're gonna wrap around this 10.
Oh, I mean, this is paper thin. I like a fold, I think.
Mm,
It might mix. I just,
Yeah, it probably is raising some, but maybe more with the hearts and spades.
if it wasn't a gapper, like if it was jack nine, okay, I'm in team call. But the jack eight, I'm gonna probably fold.
I'm having. Okay, never mind.
What were you having?
It's just, I'm thinking of the entirety of our range and we have just so much absolute garbage on this flop.
Sure.
Our,
Yeah, we
like, we
do.
have to fold our entire offsuit branch for the most part, so. Like, maybe like king seven offsuit with a king of spades, stuff like that calls, but you have to
Perhaps.
reach to find defends.
This could be a low frequency bluff, but I don't know, do it at your own risk.
Yeah, this actually, yeah, this is the magic. This is the magic one sometimes.
Okay,
This is like shorter stack property stuff. Like we were talking about jack eight being deeper stack properties.
Yep.
It likes combos like this, like sub 30 a lot because they're easy to fold versus jam.
great. So are you guys
Yeah,
getting?
but I would
involved here
still
with
call.
I play
Mostly.
call here cuz I'm a nit, but like I was saying,
Yeah,
it's
so
got,
the problem, I think I find that it's something that maybe if someone is opening very wide and folds a lot, it's very good to do. But against some stronger ranges, it becomes a bit harder because when we use an offsuit region, we just instantly have 16 combinations pretty much doing with it.
but Romano, how many psychopaths are three betting trash hands from the big blind when they could just call? Like, this is like the last great cheat code of online poker. In my mind. Three betting from the big blind.
Yeah, I mean, getting this flop is
Do
That's great.
we- Do we play check raise ever?
We would have leads.
But my mistake would have been, I would have actually bet here, and that would be very wrong.
We get some leads here, I think.
On the flop, if the deuce was more connected, where we could have flopped a possible straight with our 67 in range. So if this deuce was a 4, we would have a
Oh,
much
wait,
higher
I thought it
lead
was
rate.
3-bet pot, that's why I said it. Yeah,
No. Okay,
yeah,
so
it's the opposite now.
Ch-
Yeah.
So check here. Our villain shouldn't have a ton of 8x. If any,
The
other
answer
than like
is
pocket
no.
eights. Like you might have some pocket eights here, but that's like one combo. I kinda like to polarize here.
I don't like
think.
that we have the ace of spades, though.
I mean, he's just protecting ace, king, ace, queen and stuff like that here a lot.
I
Yeah.
wanna bet small with this hand, but I'm doing a lot of polarizing as well.
I'm
I mean, actually,
505.
it can actually go big if it went check on the flop, but like especially I think with the ace 5, but I think it does it with no spade.
Okay,
That's my thought too, is I wanna bet small with this hand. If we had ace five with the ace of diamonds, I'd be polarizing.
it is polar.
so my thoughts are, I think the ace of spades is actually not too shabby here. Just because I feel like the majority of his ace of spade X is gonna be like being slotted into a bet on the flop.
I think they're all mixing very heavily.
Oh, I'm sure they are. Yeah, I mean, this, like
I think it's like
an
50-50.
A5
I think it's not just about betting. It's just like what are we
think
value
it-
betting with? Like when we take a lot of flush draws out of his range by having the ace of spades here.
That's my thought. So
He-
Galen, if you had with the ace of diamonds, would you bet the same sizing?
Probably.
So you think the ace of
Probably.
spades is like irrelevant?
I think it is a minor consideration. I just think he doesn't have a lot of 8x here. And outside of like sevens and sixes, I feel like we just have the nuts here a lot. And we
I
can
mean,
target big cards.
You're right, like, we don't really have a small betting strategy. It's half pot or more.
Mhm.
So if we kind of look, when we have high cards, we check because they have some relative showdown and some ways to get there.
Yep.
The cards that are just below our highest cards that interact with the top of the eight, like nines and tens, jacks, they want to use the most polar sizings, as well as our eights and sevens for value and our sevens for blocking. And then the cards that are littler tend to use the smaller sizing.
Right.
But still a polar response, right? Half pot, right? For
Mhm.
55% or 75% with
Right.
Can you show the
sevens, your sixes, and your fives.
ace of ace five offsets? Offsets.
Sure. Yeah.
So
So-
the more polar honestly, it's pretty indifferent, like if you
Yeah.
have the ace of spades or not.
The key is that it wants to bet here.
It looks like if you were gonna make a distinction, the global bet frequency with the ace of spades is higher by like a reasonable clip. Like having a heart's reasonably good, having a spade is good, and the other ones are still good enough. As value bets, really.
Yeah, they're all making 5 chips, right? All across the board in every
Mhm.
spot. Yeah. I think you're just pressing the advantage here because when he checks, we have so many eights in our ranges and he has so few now. So
Yeah, you're just trying to get him off his high cards. Okay, so alright, so there's two ways to go about this. Do we check and try to attack
What
his
happened on the turn?
bluffs? He called
We-
our big bet,
we
Oh,
bet
okay.
we bet 80% pot and he called.
right? So do we attack his bluffs by checking? Or do we try to value his hero calls? With like,
Having an ace is not good for
I
for
agree,
that, so
Pete.
I
I
think
kind
this
of like, I
is
like
gonna wanna-
check too. So I like the ace of spades on the turn, but now I think the ace of spades is like a pretty critical blocker for what he would need to bluff. So I'm on team check, I think.
Checking as well.
It might small bet
Yeah.
though.
primarily small bet, it's still not, but this is gonna be a value bet at 10 chips.
It is.
Yeah, I was wondering if we do a block bet.
Yeah, it was just the thing is the 10 is not so good in this float.
Honestly, Romano, I think the 10 is a complete airball. I
think
just
10
think
is-
that,
A
I
really
just
good
think-
card, actually.
yeah, like honestly, it's like a complete airball in my mind.
Yeah.
Like he just doesn't have too much. I just think we have an issue of either value owning ourselves with a big polar bet because he's rarely calling with worse at this point.
But wasn't it the smaller bet, not the polar bet? We're not betting. Are we betting?
Oh,
polar?
yeah. No. You are taking a small bet. That was the answer. I was
Mhm,
just
yeah.
thinking through the process. Cause it's kind of unintuitive to take like a big bet, small bet line. Like, I don't know. I have trouble working those into my game personally. But I think they're good.
So lots of our tens are betting big here, as
Hmm.
well as some overcard bluffs here that we still have. That our eights size down for the most part. And our fives still go for thin value all
Right.
across the
I think the betting bigger in turn is just the idea of like also the value of protection in these situations there, and just having the opponent's full range still intact there. So, and on the river, we just there's no point to, since we can't get very like big calls like that, we just use the smaller bet to get called by worse.
And so on the turn, if we look at the eights, we have equal frequency of all these eights here, all the way across. And his range on the turn is limited to these 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 combos, right?
Right, and you see like what we're doing to his ace X here. I mean, that bet is really engineered to target these ace X. Like, that's where your value is coming from, your EV. And
Yeah, he
maybe
has to
like
call
these little
all these
pairs.
0 EV aces here against our
Right.
5.
And then that's like, that's the reason I don't think we get a really big bet on the river is because you're gonna just push that out of the range.
Mhm.
So like, this is great right here. Like, this is the easiest bluff catch of your entire life.
Well, we do check, we catch, but when he uses this size, not getting.
Well, so his bluffs
Yeah.
need to be going this size is the problem. So
Yep.
it's like. He's representing an 8 that he didn't raise you or an air ball, or maybe like aces or something, like a big pair.
Yeah.
That's like it.
All right,
So this is too good.
too good. No toes
Yeah.
in the water here. All right.
Pretty
wow.
easy check call. Expect to be catching some heat here. Yep, there it is.
Whoa, are you sure that's an easy check call?
I mean, we got a pair and a gutty. Like,
We have a
I just
gutter,
hope-
we have to call once for sure.
And we're unblocking like the fleshy stuff. I think we
Yeah.
definitely are calling.
All right. Oh, it's shaky.
I mean,
Let's
that's
see
a,
if he
it's
can
this is not a turn we would be leading. There is some 8 and 9s out there, like 8, 9.
Huh?
I'd be curious like what king 9 does there.
I think much isn't changed anyway, so there's no point to lead.
Well, 8,
take a
9
quick look.
is a hand that we have in our calling range that he doesn't necessarily have in his big bet range there.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, the board is still favoring for him to bet.
Well, the problem is
Implication
king,
still-
queen, king, queen is the nuts and.
Yeah.
The actual, there is no equity shift because there's already completed equity there. Never mind. I like a. Alright, I'm torn, to be honest. I feel like if we block here, we're just gonna get blasted.
Well, that's
And,
why you do it.
No, I'm checking.
And I kinda like check for that reason, I think. Okay,
no.
alright, there it is. It does.
But it's like, I don't have this 10th sizing
Yeah.
in my game.
I'm never doing it.
You're gonna get Louis Philippe right out of your seat right here. He's gonna just jam on you.
The EV of checking is higher than the EV of this. Wow,
Okay, there you
that's
go.
why you do it.
worked.
You made an extra one big blind. But you have to, if you're doing this, you have to make sure you balance it with some nuts too. And I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Right. Alright, easy, not all in.
Saw this one before.
Okay,
That's
so he does have some ace jack in his range. He does have some ace deuce, only one combo of ace deuce.
I think we're
I
just continuing small.
like a
I-
big bet.
I mostly bet large here, bet small sum.
Yep, I'm a 9.95er. I think this half pot, yeah, Louis has sold me on the half pot size.
Oh, yeah.
I do this a lot, honestly now.
That is the primary
Wow.
choice. So for all the
So I would go like
reasons-
quarter here. I would go like quarter here.
So the
Yeah,
reason you
you're-
wanna go large is because it's a dynamic board and he's like always gonna have some sort of connectivity. So whenever you bet
Mhm.
small, it's just an easy call for him.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that
yeah.
end, yeah. And you're just gonna, you basically beat all of his ace X here. Like,
Yes,
Mhm.
and that.
Here with our best value, we're choosing to reduce the stacked pot ratio, right? To try and get us to just put it in on the turn.
I think probably the important point, wouldn't it be also that we unblock the spades here and we also unblock the hearts here?
I
Yes, yes.
think, it may influence the betting size a little bit, but I think it's very minor.
Definitely take a look, see at the suited ace kings.
The spades combos is just the nuts, so it's gonna go small, I think, but hearts, I think they'll still use this half pot size.
If we got
Spade,
small
is
right here,
there.
does he fold out his
oh, never mind, you can't have
under
hearts.
pair?
I'm sorry, what was the
You're having
question?
the EVs, you have to change to the strategy.
If we
Sorry.
were to go small in our C bet, would
Mhm.
we fold out his under pairs?
Yeah, you are gonna fold out some of his under pairs. The problem is you're just leaving value on the table. With like
Yeah.
the bet, you're robbing your ace king of EV essentially,
So
making
like,
it less profitable.
whenever you want like under pairs to fold, it's better to bet you're like garbage, cuz you're folding out better hands. When you have a really strong hand, you often wanna bet really big to get more value from his strong hands that have to call you.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
he
he's
has
folding out his
strong
under pairs
hands.
to this big bet, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but,
he definitely
but-
should be, even a quarter bet.
but you're
Well, that's
still
what I'm
getting,
curious. Does he fold his under pairs to like a 25% bet here?
So like,
He folds
to
pocket
give you a
nines primarily.
heuristic. One of the ways we combat ace high boards and three bet pots as a caller is overfold. Just because their range is gonna be so concentrated and the equity, range advantage, nut advantage is just gonna be too much to overcome often.
Mhm.
So like, you look at the difference here now, like you're just pure folding as opposed to versus the larger bet, you're actually mixing calls. Or was it the other way around? I had
It's
it the other way around.
Right?
Sorry,
He has a
ignore that.
sliver of
but-
calls when you use the slightly smaller size, but it's not enough to make up for the value that you lose for him having to call one street with an ace,
Right.
right?
Got
He
it.
still calls
Okay,
with
thanks,
all of his
guys.
aces here, even though he folds slightly more pairs.
Mm-hmm.
And so
And
he's
there's a
gonna
lot more
have- Yeah.
combinations of the ace X here.
So,
even though we have
Sind,
one.
when this situation would be 100 cash, how would you like still have the kind of same approach here?
yeah, my sizing in cash games are often larger than my sizing in tournaments.
Okay.
Also, like whoever asked the question, that's a very general heuristic in just poker in general, is that when you have a strong hand at the top of your range, you wanna try to get the value from the strong portions of his range. You don't wanna target his weak stuff to try to like rope him in.
Yeah, for sure,
You-
for sure.
You want to, pour money in the pot with your strong hands. I mean,
Yep.
you're supposed to balance it, so every now and then you have a strong hand to protect your weak hands, but the important thing
You
is to
just-
just
yeah.
not play your strong hands passively, right?
Yeah.
Don't do it, Pete, just call. It's actually probably a fold.
This was the outlier call in the solver, but it's, yeah, just fold.
Yeah, there you go.
16. Gross.
So we have the bottom dangler-ish card. We have an over. We don't have
Fold.
enough. It's just
Shut
gonna be
up,
a
fold.
fold. Yeah, I know. I'm digging way too deep.
I'm just trying to find a way to pay ace king. Okay, ace king offsuit. Now we were pure three betting ace king suited.
So okay, so I'm cheating here because I remember your little,
We don't
Your-
have
your
jams
s-
at 40% of the game.
yeah, your summary, although in game, I do lean towards jamming
Really?
at 40 with
Really?
Really?
with the offsuit when I do.
You animal. Yeah, I don't
Wow.
have jams versus EP at 40.
Okay, it is a
Wow,
little bit in
it's
there.
actually
It is a
doing
Let's
little
it.
bit.
find the minutia of it.
Well, how much was it doing it? I wasn't looking.
Like
Eight-
10.
8%.
Okay. I don't know what bluffs to balance with it, so like this low frequency stuff, I just don't put in my game.
Protect
Probably,
the-
probably like king, jack, king 10.
Well, it's
Yeah,
only
so
tens.
I was gonna say like these middling pairs, I protect them with ace, king when I do this.
Okay, but are you jamming ace two offsuit?
Never.
And ace
We could
five
look through my
offsuit.
entire data. Thank you. We could look through my entire database and you wouldn't find that. Yeah.
You
Well,
have to put the occasional
Okay,
king
well,
six.
we're gonna do a database review and I wanna see it in there by tomorrow.
I'll see what I can do. I'll
Get
get
to
that,
work.
I'll get that on the desk with the TPS reports right away.
All right. 3-bet pot, lots of draws. Is this one going to
Big.
go bigger?
I think we can kind of follow the old heuristic that we talked about before.
Oh, there's no point in going 15 just based off the SPR. You can
Yeah,
just go
half
10
pot.
and then jam all turns.
Definitely a half pot size. Yeah, it goes, well, it's split, okay, so
Yeah.
like you got some small, you got some half.
So I think the difference is we have the ace of spades this time. So we're
I
not as worried
agree.
about flushes. I think if we didn't
I-
have the ace of spades, we'd be betting large more often.
I agree with Nick completely.
Without the ace of spades, this would probably be in the 75 or 80% of the time, and this would be at 20%.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Yep, me too. So this is like a disguisingly like not great card, I think. Cuz while we did improve, I think it improves him more than it
Flank,
does,
do you have antidote?
him more than it does us, really. I mean, he only has 4 combos of queen jack here, right? Like he's not defending the offsuit one, so it's whatever. I
I'm
think you still just go
checking to
this.
protect my
I think we're
range.
jamming here.
Oh, let's
No.
go. 1 point for Nick.
There
It
it
is
is.
in the tub with the check.
Wow.
Yeah, I am.
So why?
I'm
So one, you have the ace of spades, which is just a great card to protect your range with here. You're not worried about the flush. Two, we have a lot of hands here that kind of want to get to showdown, so you have to protect it with some value stuff. And I think like this sort of hand fits nicely into it to where, no matter what card comes, if he has a 2-pair combo or river's a 2-pair combo, we're gonna be beating it.
Is he bluffing
Is it
like
because, is it
queen
also because we,
10, jack
Sorry.
10, stuff like that? I wonder.
so is it like also by checking here with the top of our range here, we also give him value to have bluffs, whereas
sure.
if we just go and continue, we are not so much in so much in a situation where we can get called by worse.
Yeah, so when you jam, he can't bluff, so it's definitely a portion
Right.
of it.
Yeah. So when you check here, he's gonna have some jams with jack X and queen X and like ace queen, maybe stuff like that. Now you just jam for value. Like you get ace jack, you get ace queen. You
I
get like
think
all of his ace
you are
X.
gonna mix checking and jamming.
I'm jamming here always.
So it's the same thing to where, he still has 10, so you need to protect your, checking range, cuz you'll still have stuff that wants to see showdown without putting another chip in the pot.
Yeah, I would put my, I'd put my ace X. Oh, look at that. I'm blowing it. I
Yeah,
would put
pure
my ace X
check.
that, chops into that range, I think. I would have jammed this one. Yeah, you just
Yeah.
call.
I buy stack. Oh, yep, cool. And that's
Double
why you
blocking
check.
that.
Nick is the only guy who gets all this guy's chips.
This is really interesting.
So, and it's also
That-
like the nature of the board is the nut change. We don't really have jack queen in range, but he still does, right?
Yes.
So, whenever you're in that situation to where the opponent has the nuts in his range and you don't, you kind of have
Mhm.
to protect your range in some way.
Mhm.
That is some excellent analysis, Nick. Thanks very much for that really high level explanation. Very,
Oh,
very
Nick is good. Nick is really good.
I can't tell if he's being sarcastic or not.
Oh, no,
No,
seriously.
I'm not sarcastic. I like you a lot.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Alright, so we have very easy check here, facing a nice 55% pot bet.
Call,
call.
just a call.
No point in raising.
So if you have the
Yeah.
3 of spades,
Yeah.
I think we're way overplaying if we get too frisky.
Like, I was thinking about turning 7x into a bluff here, but no, not this. Like, why?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is wild, to be honest. Like, I'm not sure like what we're
Don't do
trying
it
to
in game.
accomplish. What are we trying to accomplish here?
Yeah, so some 7x is raising, which is what I would pull from. I would not pull from ace X here. This is absurd.
Well, I
So
mean,
it looks like it's just pulling literally like a sprinkle from almost every ace X combo.
yeah, and we found the two, like, I guess two of the two combos that it does it most is we just happen to have here.
You have to start randomizing it every time it turns like 5 or 7 and the randomizer here is just gonna raise it.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth implementing this into your game. I think there's better bluffs.
So
And we get the
Yeah,
polarized
I-
sizing.
I let go of this in game. It's probably gonna call in the solver, but I'm just gonna let it go.
I'm letting go in game too, but solver's gonna call.
Yeah.
I don't think players, oh, it's such a good river. Check call all day.
Do you just jam?
No jam.
I actually,
polarized.
actually,
He
So.
polarized turn, like, we're not gonna
You-
donk jams
you're
in
right.
range here.
You wanna let him bluff his spades. Like, if you donk jam here, you're just gonna never catch value from his brick
Or like
spades.
queen, jack of diamonds is gonna jam here some.
Right,
Yep.
so what did you have to say, Mr. Romano?
I jam you.
Okay,
yeah, I
Saeed,
wanted to say that I usually in this one's like a call turn, and if it gets bet on the river too, I'll fold.
You sound like you're in a bit of a wind tunnel.
He's in the
Yeah,
tornado.
it was in the hurricane, yeah. So it was pure check, and like he had a combo that he could have gone with here, but
Yeah, so I think his diamonds are supposed to jam high frequency there.
this is
When-
a high frequency call, if not full.
Your call.
So you could probably lead this some of the time. No, not really.
Not with this hand class.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking more range, but yeah, this hand doesn't benefit from a lead really.
So
Yeah.
if you have the two of spades and the two of hearts here blocking most likely continues, you can get frisky with this, but that's the randomizer that I use on these type of situations.
Did it have
Um,
any lead with these twos on the flop?
No, call. Okay, this is a pretty good combo to check raise at some frequency. I would say high frequency.
I love combo.
I like a really big bet here. So we block jack, queen, we got the flush draw.
Yeah.
We can bluff like 5s and 4s also on the river. I kinda like that, Pete, I think. I like that.
Yeah,
size
me
more.
too.
It is all across the board, but 30%
Wow.
of the time picking the size, 30% of the time just half pot.
Who's in the wind
Yes.
tunnel?
Follow me. You can mute me if I'm walking back to
I
home.
don't,
It's really
I don't think,
it's really cold here.
All right.
It's really cold.
I don't
Stand
think I
by,
have the
Mr.
option of muting you.
You're indoor skydiving?
Sounds like
He's
he's in a
wa-
wind tunnel.
He's
Oh, you
walking
guys,
back-
you know how I'm pushed to
the
talk
hall.
on Discord, right?
Yep.
And I figured out that the X that I was using for push to talk is fold on DTO wizard. So I was trying to practice and someone popped into my impromptu practice session that I was streaming on the Discord. And I kept folding aces and they probably were like, what the fuck are you doing? And then I was
That's
like,
pretty funny.
so then now on Discord, I'm not push to talk, but I can just manually mute myself.
High frequency check. I mean, do we continue here? Probably not.
I don't think we need to continue on an ace high board with all our backdoor flushes. So even though it's a small bet, a lot you don't have to get married to the backdoor flush from the big blind because we were reviewing a hand history before, and they were like, and I folded, and they were like, and I said, yeah, it's a fold, and it's a fold because
Okay.
you know you
So
do get to
Viv,
float a lot, but this one you don't float.
are you going to float king 10 of hearts and king 4 of hearts?
King
Ooh.
4 might be a nice check raise. King 4 hearts. If you had a check raising range, I think it might be good. Or
I like
just I
Viv.
think
I like your style, Viv.
King 4 has a wheel draw.
I
Like
like
you
your
need
style.
more. You need more than just the backdoor flush, even though it's a small bet.
I think you got both of them. The king 10 is a continue and the king 4 is a check raise.
Yep.
Uh
King 4 check raises, king 3
oh
check
yeah, the
raises.
King 10 has a backdoor flush as well. So that was me just sitting there like,
Well, it's
oh,
got
how
a
do I
backdoor
play
straight draw
poker?
also.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
what I meant. Backdoor straight draw is what I think you need. You need either an overcard or a backdoor straight draw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Peter was sprinkling breadcrumbs for you there.
Yeah, the whole idea is the worst king is the king in the middle of your range here. The kings at the bottom interact with the straight, and the kings at the top are your best hands in terms of value, in terms of turning a king, and also have Broadway interaction.
Yeah.
Find your folds with your king 6 and king 7 and king 8 here. But this one is still strong enough to call some of the time.
I think it's just because it's such a small bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to find so many defends to the small bet. So it's
Ooh.
uncomfortable to like find the King 4 or the King 10 and just defend it. But you have to do it. I mean, well, actually, I don't like using terms like uncomfortable, but yeah, you can't really fold much this small bet, but
I
you
was
you
very
can
curious about
sometimes.
this one. I thought this one might have been close, but it's too good, I guess. And it's a queen.
Actually,
We don't like the queen. I'm check folding here.
There's not much going on, even against the micro size.
Micro sizing.
Micro size.
Get out your one big blind bets.
Man, I'm so bad. Like I always bet a third
Okay,
when I'm
I
supposed to bet one big blind, but that's what I
think
do. That's how I roll.
we could 3-bet this at some for value, but I call this in game.
Yeah, I called, but yeah, you're right. You have to find some 3-bets. We were drilling this
So
the other day, and I kept
are
like
you
being a pussy and calling a lot of hands.
are you like 90-10 here? 90% calling?
I think it's gonna be, I wouldn't be surprised to see like a 60-40 or something.
67-33, exactly.
So as a call, we're going to definitely continue here unless it's like a really, really big bet. Okay, okay, well played, LoJack.
It's interesting because we block the hands that he's representing. He's representing kings, queens, and ace jack.
Yeah, it's.
Weird.
There's just nothing we can do about it though, unfortunately. Yeah, look at this, queen 10. Pretty savage, huh?
Whoa.
We lost Mr. Romano in the wind tunnel. We lost Saeed to the wood chipper. It's a bad day at the study session for Christmas.
I know.
You could 3-bet this for value. And call. It's gonna mix.
Ooh, how big are you 3-betting it, Galen?
No. Don't even, don't take me down that
Oh, no.
road.
Oh, he just stuffs it in your face.
You
Are
gotta
you
let
sure
it
it was?
go.
That is not
huge?
nice. Yeah, it's a fold. I've been drilling this
sure it was
fucking
a-
spot. I've been
Are you-
drilling. I've been working. I've been working on the rail. I've been drilling these fucking blinds. I've been
Viv
playing
has,
the big
has
blind.
driven the train 3 tracks down and is already folded. But somehow Galen thinks that this was a value
No,
raise.
but we have to call so many pairs in these situations.
It's
You're
ace
like,
jack,
oh, I don't
man.
know, I don't see.
Fold.
We fold
Galen,
this.
are you tempted?
The value raise versus like an opening range, not versus a 4-bet jamming range. Fold it.
Alright. The waiter came by, offered souffle, and couldn't get Galen to take it.
No. No, 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 no.
No, 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 no.
Mr. Superman not here.
Um. It's too big of a bet. We can't do any shenanigans, just fold.
If you bet small, well,
Maybe, I don't know. This is not a great hand for it, to be honest. It just plays with the jack and the 3-4 a little
The
bit.
ace jack was a fold, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay, good.
100% Viv approved. Alright. King of 5, bet.
so we block 5 deuce, we block 4, 5. Maybe a little raising here versus that sizing especially. I like a raise. I'm gonna put it out there. I'm a raise guy here.
Are you just giving it like a click raise?
I think we benefit from fold equity more, so I'm like a 5-9
I
guy.
think it's not, I think it's a
Hey,
fold.
Dominic, have a good one,
And
Dominic.
I think it's raising with the suits that interact with the board, and it does not do it with clubs.
You're probably right, Romano, actually. I think it's just going to, yeah. You
Yeah.
can check the suited ones, I guess, see what the other ones are doing.
We'll take a look at the other 42 Scooby-Doos.
42s, Scooby-Doos. You're probably right, Romano. There it is,
42
yeah.
is just a minutia on the weak side. It does interact with all 3 of the other ones a bit, but it takes it prefers the 4-3, which can turn the upper side as well as the lower side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Galen is a check raise machine and finds all kinds of 6 spots to put people in.
You know who's a check raise machine?
try.
Ken.
He is. This is like low frequency, I think. Raise, high frequency call.
I think this is a high frequency call. Like, what the fuck are you trying to raise out here?
You're bluffing.
I know. Oh, it is a low.
High
No, it's
frequency
a
three bet.
medium. It's a man. I'm missing these. I mean, I'm really bad at finding my pre-flop raises, what combos to do it with. And that's why, like, I think I need to play a little less tables, but it's mainly the big blind. Like, I think my 3-betting ranges are good in some of the other spots. Actually, no, I'm totally lying.
Against under the gun, you want to attack the top of his range, which means you want an ace or a king in your hand when you 3-bet bluff the offsuit side. And so these are the ones that it chooses to attack with, right? Because when he 4-bets you, it's an easy fold.
Right. And I mean, versus like under the gun, like if you 3-bet this guy, he's kind of like, he's not too happy with a hand like ace 10 or ace jack.
You're going to get that to fold a lot. All right, so we take the passive line and we wrap around the hot dogs here.
I think you gotta find some check raise in here. I think like the king, like Romano was saying, like the king of clubs is probably not the most popular one, but we do
So,
block queen
what
jack.
frequency call, what frequency raise, what frequency fold?
So since it's rainbow, we don't really have any great flush equity, so it's gonna be on lower
I
frequency
want to say
raising.
high frequency call, but
It is
maybe
gonna
I'm
be
just
high.
punting here.
I'm gonna say like you might find, I don't know, 20% raising here.
Okay,
Kenny, are
that's-
you laughing at my lack of poker knowledge?
Actually, what I was thinking like 80% call, 20% raise.
If we had,
I,
if we had the suited one, it would be a much more prominent thing, or if the board was two-tone and we had 3 to a flush.
I think it's vice versa. So I think you wanna have the king or jack of clubs here because he's not opening. Queen 10 offsuit, queen jack offsuit.
Mhm.
So when you have the king of clubs or the jack of clubs, you're blocking more combos of queen X.
Yeah,
So
I think
it's
I
more
think it's just an
about,
equity. I was thinking like from an equity driven. Well, look at that. It does this one quite a bit.
so can we see if if it's raising clubs more than not? Cause I think it's gonna want to just be blocking him not having a queen.
Yeah, I think this combo, like blocking the rare queen jack of spades that he opens, and blocking the king queen of clubs that he opens, and both of those queens being missing on the board,
Yeah.
is going to particularly want to do this. I think.
Oh, what am
Okay,
what am I
I agree.
saying?
Yeah.
Yes, no, that's 100% it. Like you're blocking both combos of queen X that he should be able to have.
Yeah, I didn't realize the jack of spades is blocking the other one. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
That's
So
definitely the thing going on here.
yeah. So when we take a look at the king jack,
They're actually all pretty
pretty
popular.
resilient.
Like I said 20%, but it's actually like 50% across the board. And if you look at the suited ones, it's like full frequency.
So where's heart diamond? Yeah, so it doesn't even care. Heart diamond's
Just,
still doing it a ton.
it's kinda like whatever.
It just
So,
it chooses this and just says this is a good enough blocker all across the board.
yeah, you're attacking his
Well,
ace X and stuff like, and his
he
pairs. He's just gonna have a horrible time
he's
defending
opening.
this.
Is he opening queen jack off full frequency?
No,
No,
it's
I don't think so.
mixing.
just the queen jack suited at full frequency.
So he's
Why does,
mixing.
sorry, why does solver like to, check raise? It looks like it's check raising, it's under pairs here. Did I see that correctly?
Some,
For value.
you definitely should be doing that some.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially like
Um,
if it's sixes, sevens, right above the 5.
It's just a function of MD, like these are gonna have problems realizing their equity on later streets. And it's gonna be very hard for him to defend on a board like queen, queen five, if he doesn't have a queen, right? Like, if you get check raised and you have a hand like ace, jack, that you're just range betting, like, how do you handle that?
Yeah, yeah.
And
And
like
it's,
if you,
that's a function of the fact this is a paired board.
yes.
Yes,
so-
very,
So if you have
100%.
He
like,
doesn't have an overpair or,
if you,
which he
if
does.
you,
Yeah.
if
Go
you
ahead,
have
sorry.
like 6, 7 or 7, 8 of spades, like, and you check raise that, you could be drawing dead. But when you have pocket sixes, pocket sevens, pocket eights, no matter what he has, you're still live. You can always hit a 6, 7 and hit a full house.
Thanks, guys.
And in
Mhm.
additional to having outs to the nuts, you also just get so much stuff with equity to fold because like Galen was saying that pretty much any card that's gonna come is gonna be an overcard to your pair, and you're not gonna know if he hit it or not. It's gonna make
Mhm.
How much of
just
his range do we fold? This is my issue with these small clickback check raises. How much of his range do we fold out with that sizing?
Well, I mean,
Especially
if
if
you're
he's
playing
not really
versus someone
bad.
who defends perfectly, it's gonna be pretty close to along the equity lines. It's the pot odds that you're giving them. Fact of the matter is, people don't defend always at pot odds. So,
a lot of people c bet too much and fold too much to aggression.
especially if they have like 10 tables or something, they're just gonna click the fold button, not taking in the nuance of the situation all the time. That's
So the
why,
argument
that's why.
for check raising here with trying to pass is that population over C bets and over folds to a check raise. So we're gonna fold out. He's gonna overfold to a check raise.
Yeah, and the other thing is when you have a queen, and if you look at how many queens that we have
Have a
all
lot.
these suited queens.
Mhm.
We have about 30 combos of trip queens here that we want to get value on. And so because it's a rainbow board, like we're not afraid of the flush coming, there's no straight coming. So our trip queens, we just can't raise big, or else we're going to shake the fish off the line with anything. So we just check raise very small here. And because we have so many queens that get to check raise, we just get to check raise a bunch of stuff that can make a hand, but is currently losing, right? Which is all this
Mhm.
stuff that wraps around the queen.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he's just gonna have so many folds when you do
Yeah.
this.
Like
Like, if
it
you look at
even
what his defense
odds.
range actually is supposed to be, like, you could look and see, like, the solver's gonna be defending combos that, I guarantee population's missing.
So speaking of the
Range bet?
over betting your range, right? Now this is just the board he range bets, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So when we give him the clicky check raise, this is his response. He folds
Right.
30% of his hands.
And
against our
look what it's defending here. Like,
Jack
okay,
nine, 10
Jack
jack.
nine,
People
10
aren't
8.
defending that in game.
The
Ace
fir-
8 suited, ace 7 suited, no.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the whole point, right? All of your
pocket
pairs.
threes at full frequency, pocket
Yeah.
twos clicking it back.
Ace, your wheel aces with backdoor equity.
This guy has pocket twos in range. Who are you playing, Louis?
That's what I'm saying, man. Like this right here, you could easily, like it says it's folding 30 at 30% at equilibrium. Like your actual opponents are probably getting much closer to 40 plus.
Yeah, I think it's even higher. Like, they're folding king jack off, king 10 off full frequency, 9 8 suited full frequency, jack 9 suited full frequency, king 7, king 8, ace 8, ace 7, ace 6, ace 4, ace 3 full frequency.
To be honest, you're probably getting folds from king 10 here, like, which is crazy.
Mhm.
For like some people, like some idiot people, that's like half a big blind that you're getting. So
I'm
it's,
folding king 10 to a check raise here. I'm not defending that.
right,
Like king 10 of hearts, diamonds or spades, I'd probably call, but offsuit, no, never.
yeah. So it's just like these check raises just print money in these situations.
So we check raise and he calls. So now we know
This,
that we've folded out his 30% of trash. He's still in here with like 8, 9.
so this is, the fact that it's a rainbow card is really good
Yep.
for a small bet.
It's
Like,
actually interesting because I don't know which portion of the range wants to bet now.
I think it's gonna be heavy small bets here because he's just gonna have so many insta folds in this scenario. Cause there's so many like loose combos he was defending that just brick.
I think you're
Like
right.
he's gonna have jack tens with backdoor flush draws that are worthless now.
Ace 9 of hearts folds, yeah.
Yep.
And our 3 queens want to still get value, and it's hard to find him calls.
Eggs.
So
Exactly. That's the other end of it. Well, look at that. What do we know? Well, okay, so it does do some small, it polarizes, right?
Yeah.
So you have some small, some checks, and then some biggie bets.
What's
And
my
I guess
range
it wants to
doing?
go, I
take a
guess
look
it
at
wants
the
to go
whole-
bigger, so you get value with your queen X maybe. I just figured it was gonna be so dry with the rainbow board that we would wanna go small.
So the stuff that
So,
still
Wow.
interacts and blocks the queen wants to size up.
right, but I mean, the overwhelming
Oh.
response here is to, check.
Yeah, it's wild to me. 75% check.
And so the stuff that the reason why we chose to bet and why we chose to size up with the club and the spade is still relevant on the turn. And so it still chooses all of these combos to continue betting.
Look what all these low suited, queens are doing. They're like, uh-oh, he called. We're about to get cooler.
Check.
I think it's actually a function of how much you have to check this board because all your suited stuff bricks as well. So
That's right.
because you have so many bricks, you have to protect them with your queen X.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. I think it's twofold.
I guess we have
So-
significantly more bricks than the opponent. I didn't even think about that.
So we brick 2 bets.
Man, this small bet, what do you do? Do you ever bluff this as a double check raise?
I do.
You give him the click or the stuff.
I
Just
don't think
click.
you can stuff. You don't need to stuff. Like a click is gonna get the job done if you do it, but. Okay, so like we're stretching a bit, but it's not the craziest thing.
I see 2%.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the worst option is to call, right? Like clicking is pretty close here.
There's
yeah.
definitely merit.
I've actually like been working on my double check raise bluffs and it works out a lot.
I
Double
think
check
the
raise
only
bluff.
problem with it is, I like the double check raise a lot. I just think it doesn't get credit in game as much as it probably should. That's,
Kick solves the solve.
there's too many Kenneth Keppels running around for that to work.
Can call double check raises?
Ken has, He said he's been he's been double check raised like twice in the last year. And he just doesn't buy them. He calls them because, and you know what the funniest part is? One of those double check raises was me.
Funny.
And I did have it.
Ooh, tiny double barrel.
I think we just probably fold. This is like probably one of our best folds. We might fold some
It
jack
just has the
X, I
super
guess.
nuts.
Okay, we call.
Ooh, here we go. This is a lead board texture.
I
There's
like leading this
completed-
hand as well.
There's completed equity. It's a high-low combo. Nope,
Wah, wah.
not really a thing.
I would play check raise here, I think.
Check raise.
I don't think this hand has enough equity to check raise. Not
Ooh.
definitely not against that.
No, it's just a fold now.
Even against a small bet, I think it's a fold though.
You could look at it. It might,
Yeah,
I think
take a
I think it's got a lot of attractive properties. It can turn straight outs, flush outs, and it's got an overcard.
So
So-
if he chooses
You
a more
can't-
standard.
You can't turn straight outs because it's gonna make it straight to the board. You get a straight.
You're just gonna counterfeit yourself, I see, but it's still got a little spice. I think it's
It
actually probably
is.
just the front door. Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
the front
Just the
door,
front door.
just the front.
Just the front door.
That's what made it an attractive lead to me is that we can't call, we can't raise. But at the same
Oh.
time, we can turn equity. Rather
Mhm.
than have to fold to a bet, I'd sometimes take the aggressive route. if I can do that.
Yeah, and I mean,
So,
betting two
verse,
shouldn't get raised too often.
verse late position, this is an attractive raise. Verse early position, I think it's too trashy. So I'm probably mixing calls and folds.
I like
This is the
folding.
same hand as earlier where it was calling.
Yeah,
Wow.
I would call here in game.
I would fold in game.
I would fold in game.
Alright.
I'm folding this bullshit. What are we really supposed to play that? Oh wait,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? We're first act. What do you guys, they didn't even bet yet. And everyone's telling that they're folding and the other person didn't even bet.
They're talking about
Like-
pre-flop. They're talking about pre-flop then.
Oh, I mean, I think that versus early position, we actually get to fold that, right?
I'll
Nope.
recall.
It was calling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
but
calls-
also
Is
the
it
thing
the
is,
bottom
the
of the
thing is also,
range?
I
Yeah.
think it's also chippy V, so.
I mean, the
Safe
thing
fold.
is, even if you just go to like 50% of the field left and then a lot of these defends start to become closer. But yeah, Chippy V. I mean, I feel like I was auto flicking it in most of the time with all these hands. And I don't think you get that much EV from them.
But they protect your
Whoosh.
raising range, right? Or else you're only raising
Seriously?
really good stuff and people just fold when you raise.
Yeah, you do need to find some bluffs from the big blind
Ooh,
and the small blind. I mean, from the big blind, you need to find some bluff
So-
raises. And then you have to actually perform them in game.
So. I like a click here.
against this polarized bet
I'm
size.
calling versus sizing.
I'm giving him the clicker, man.
I don't like raising at all.
I'm calling.
It's too big a bet.
It's
Alright.
too big
Actually, just click him in his face, all of it.
Or jam. I
Wow.
don't like either of
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, show me
I
your
would,
aces.
But it actually makes a lot of sense if you think about his range with also the jack tens and stuff. It's kind of similar to the like when you're against the big blind with jack 10x boards.
Mm.
So
Like it's very similar to that. Like if you think about the range interaction by him, he just has so many. Like basically, we have a very strong hand, and yet
Romano, I
he has a very
think
strong
it's
interaction with
very,
it.
I think it's very easy. I think we're double blocking his value. So it kind of tilts him towards like a very strong draw of some kind here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or like he might have aces or like maybe jack 10 of hearts or something.
Or ace king.
So ace
Yeah.
king is another good one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, I think you just benefit from kind of putting some chips in, I guess.
At the same
Yeah,
time,
I like the jamming idea. Actually, I would never find this in game, but when I
Yeah,
like
I
see
don't
this,
jam either. I like clicking. I
it's
feel like
like,
clicking puts
but
him in
it
a harder
makes
spot.
but it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. It's like it really reminds me like these Jack 10x solutions against the big blind when there's Jack 10 boards and solver just jams.
oh
What
Pete,
were
can
you
we
gonna
see
say, Nick?
something for this hand real quick?
Yeah.
What's his flop sizing with, say, 8-9 of diamonds?
Flop sizing with 8-9 of diamonds is
It's
primarily
mostly
small.
small.
A little
Mhm.
bit of 55%.
Alright, so he's never betting large with it.
Yeah. So his
What are his 10-8s doing? 10-8 suited?
So you got some jack 9 that's starting to kinda, and like 10-9 that's starting to show some like larger frequencies. But I mean, it's mainly his value,
You're
like
the,
it's,
you're at the 7, you're at the overbet sizing. What's his 5?
size.
Yeah,
yeah,
so like what's
so
10-8 doing?
And 8.
10-8. It wants the
Hearts.
back door or the front door.
Alright, so say he bets large and we call.
See, my thing is, I feel like he's gonna just shut down so much. That's what I was gonna say. When we call a large bet like here, I feel like we're just giving him a really clean bet big check line.
I'm not,
Mhm.
so let's say it's like a 2 of clubs, just an absolute brick. Sure,
Yeah,
that's fine.
6 of diamonds.
That's
right?
fine.
Yeah. We check because we check most of range.
And he's
Mm,
just
So
going
if I have
to,
like 10-8 or 9-8 or 10-9, I'm losing my shit here with, like diamonds and clubs.
mhm,
Yeah, a little bit.
and, yep.
Like full
Crazy.
frequency. Not a little bit, full frequency.
That's so
Well,
crazy.
Yeah, like you could jam a little bit here, right?
I'm
But
not
like
jamming,
mostly-
I'm just betting large again, cuz
Yeah.
I wanna jam rivers, that
But it
brick.
kind of makes sense. But it kind of makes sense. Like if we also the block that is choosing it is like more of the bottom hand.
You know, I can rationalize those. The ones I don't find here are like the ace eights of the world and the ace sevens of the world. Like, I just don't find full frequency ace seven, ace six,
Yeah.
ace 6 of
Yeah.
clubs.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, I don't find those either.
all
But
suits.
like, it's a very prominent part of the betting scheme here. Like, I follow what you're saying with like the 8-9s and stuff, like that makes sense. But like this right here, like, I just don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're getting kings to fold, but yeah, I don't. That's not really my game strategy, is making them fold top pair. I try to
Yeah,
make them
Yes.
fold better hands.
When you bet these, you get better aces to fold as well.
yeah, that's true. Like you kind of
Right?
put ace jack into a really nasty spot
I
here.
mean, in game you probably can get like
It's just
even
kind of
ace
a
queen
goofy
to fold
thing,
maybe by
like,
some players.
yeah, I just feel like, targeting regions that you're blocking kind of feels like a silly thing sometimes, right? Like
Yeah.
betting
But
like
it's-
ace seven to get ace jack or ace 10.
Yeah, but it's
These
a
are
factor of the
basically like this
polarized
Yeah,
flop.
bet and the
that's a good
compressed
tip.
range.
I guess
Like-
that's like when you have straight draws and you're trying to bluff them and you're like, but they also have the hands that you're trying to fold.
I think this is probably a problem in my game to where I would never click here because I know how I play and I'm like, I'm gonna call here, so this idiot bluffs his whole stack off.
Yeah, you level yourself.
And people don't bluff like I do often enough.
I don't think, yeah,
But they like
people
calling.
will
Mhm.
like oftentimes bet the flop and then just check.
We
They
continue
don't
with our
double
gapper,
barrel enough. So when you call there and then you like,
kind
you're
of.
like, I'm gonna make him double barrel a bluff.
Yeah. I call this hand instead of eight, king 6 off.
Okay,
day.
so now this is like got some reasonable check raise properties.
Definitely versus sizing. I like a check raise.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we
Probably,
can,
probably mostly a fold, but I like check raising.
I'm pulling check raises, man. We're blocking 8-4 and 6-4. We can turn a 5. We can turn a,
yeah, and probably go
we can
broke with
turn a,
spades.
we can turn a spade. We can turn a 7. We can turn like an 8, a 6, like,
I think it's like, okay, never mind. I was gonna say like a 60 or 70% fold.
But actually, I'm
Fold.
thinking like, maybe it's bad also because
so.
like, it just
Give
gives
us
us so
6,
many bluff
7.
combinations that we have better
6
bluffs to mix than this.
Let's see
Yeah.
what 6-7 does. 6-7's
think
gonna be probably okay.
76 trombones gets in there with the front
Nope.
door.
Yeah, look at the offsuit one though, with the spade.
65. 65 goes
Those,
both ways.
yeah. I was thinking like the offsuit combos though that have a spade. Is, but
No.
I'm reaching a little.
Yeah, you're better off with base 7 if you want to do that, right? The over.
It wants the over, so like queen 6, queen 7 are good ones.
Yeah.
King
All these
5, king
queens,
6.
jacks.
It wants the over card to the jack as opposed to like the straight equity that you can turn. Call, yeah.
Down the pair access, we're gonna call.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Here
Well,
we go
now here we
again.
go.
Here we go again. These are combos I check raise.
I do
I'm
too.
sorry. I'm sorry. I do a lot of this
I
check
don't,
raising.
I'm check raising. I don't care what the solver says.
I do, I definitely over check raise this combo
How-
here.
How big are you going? 2,
I just go,
3,
I
or
go
5?
4.
I
I go
think
like-
Lewis has taught us to check raise this board a
I
lot
go
all
like
the
5
time.
versus sizing. I don't see the sizing very often. Yeah, my check
Huh.
raise percentage for the month is 20 on the flop.
That's so
Mhm.
aggressive.
Well, this one does check almost check raise almost 40% of the time. So, or
Mhm.
call, no, it folds 50% of the time. Oh. All right. Well, it does check raise a little bit. Get here, and we get a fold.
Yeah, like you just get this and better to fold so much. Alright, I call. This is another combo that I'm probably gonna go bananas with on a lot of flops. Not this one. This is an easy call flop on a lot of situations though.
Ooh,
Not that, you gotta fold too much.
big fat polar sizing. It's time to check out.
Um, just a call, maybe a fold.
Maybe a fold.
Like it's right there. It's like point -0.02.
Yeah. Remember, we were defending our offsuit 8s here.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I
Anyone
mean,
getting in team knit?
I think it might,
I'm folding
I-
this in game.
this is like the
Um,
worst one, right? It might like 3-bet very low
I was
frequency, but
wondering. I
I
think
think it
this,
folds.
I think it's a fold as
most.
well. Like A6 can't make straights, like Ace 5 is better than it.
Yeah, this is like the nut low combo.
If you find this fold against under the gun, you are a super champ. Congratulations on earning your 0 EV.
Oh, we had him crushed.
Dominated.
Okay, this is a
Probably
good
gonna flop
combo.
2 6s.
This is a good raise combo. This is a good bluff combo. We interact very well with the floor of his opening range. We get better hands to folds, like easy to play versus 4 bets.
So
This is
40%
like,
free bet.
I would say half, yeah, 40 to 50.
Yep.
Find, yeah, I don't find this.
Wow, I never re-raised them.
Okay.
This is a really good combo for attacking like his looser opens from EP.
How low do you
Um,
go?
I would bet 5 here. 2's probably a fine answer too.
Yeah. Both of them are fine. This is the type of spot where the smaller you bet, the more often you get to bet. So
Mhm.
right? Monotone boards are one of those circumstances. You just want to bet often and small.
I play check here, or do you continue small? It might continue small, but I check in game.
What was the action?
It was
We-
a small
He
bet
bets
flop.
small.
Three
3-bet
bet
pre, bet quarter on the flop, he calls. So now we're on the turn with a spade when the flush completes. I think it's gonna check high frequency, bet low frequency, small.
I think it's a pure check.
micro bet if you want to bet 10%.
Mhm.
But Nick doesn't have it in his game, so it's a perfect check for Nick.
Easy
But
call.
when you face the micro bet, what do you do, Nick?
Call. It's
Oh,
not strong enough to raise and we have better bluffs.
All in? Yeah, I feel like this is just lighting money on fire. I just check here.
I don't like the jam at all.
I mean,
Now we have
in
to
game,
I
call.
mean,
I'm folding this.
this is one of this. This is one of this. This is one.
Congratulations, solver. If I'm
This
in
is one of
game and
this,
somebody does this, I'm just folding, by the way. I'm never
I
calling
think
this.
the funny part is that sometimes when the five flush is on the board, people may still call because of split. But
well, solver.
Oh, people will definitely call sometimes there.
yeah, it's like there's a
Alright.
five. There's a five flush on the board, and he's like, "Am I gonna split this?" And
Just a check fold, probably.
Or against that size.
Jack 10. I don't think the 7's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be a call mainly.
That's 3-bet a little bit. Because you're still at the bottom of the range. Remember, you're folding your ace-6, so this is just a hair
Mhm.
better. Makes it the bottom of the range, so and 3-bet.
Yeah, I think honestly, it pulls like minor frequencies from all of your offsuit ace-X. You just call here. This is kind of a scary bet, to be honest.
Yeah. Right, the one in the middle is the worst. You have better interaction with your ace-2, ace-3, and better interaction with your ace and ace-jack, so.
Right? So like the combos he's doing this with are like the super nuts and like air balls.
Oh, well, we're gonna show him some air balls. Let's go.
How greedy do we go here? I think we can polarize pretty good. I don't know, man. I may bet 7 or
I
13
like
here.
pot, but I think we can
Well, if you
if you
bet
check the
13,
turn. I think yeah, like 7 probably 7 or 13.
Do you ever play check here to check jam?
Against solver you do, but not
Mm.
against population.
I don't think we do because he checked the turn, but it's an interesting thought.
I think we have some spade. I think our bluffs, like our diamonds, want to bet this size. Right? Because he's gonna have some protected calls with kings,
Mm-hmm.
right? So yeah, I think I'm
Yeah, I like the
probably more on
7.
this
I like
side.
7 probably.
All
Yeah.
three of them are fine, but Galen's is very prominent here as well. So
Hmm.
yep. Stuff. And double deck. Huh?
Right, so he had tens. Maybe
I
a
think
low
this is a
frequency.
pure call.
You might be surprised. It's gonna be high frequency call for sure at 40, but it might. 20% of the time, it might 3-bet here.
20%. That's spicy, but yeah, maybe 10.
Maybe 10. You're probably right.
Maybe 10. No,
Just
not 10.
calling, just calling.
Just calling.
We're too shallow and it's too EP.
Yeah.
Alright, we play check call. Just call.
Easy call.
It actually does
Some-
raise
some
though.
raise. Ooh,
Check. You might be
no.
able to lead.
we're
I would
gonna
play
lead
check.
here Early, regularly. Check is for
Maybe.
sure the safe line, but. Right, like this locks up a lot of equity.
It does. I just don't think he didn't really polarize the flop too much, right? I
Uh,
think we go small here.
Yeah, I think
Three
this is
big
blocker.
blinds. I would go 3.
3, so you're going for thin value.
Mm-hmm.
You think he's gonna call
Yeah,
you
he's
with ace
gonna-
high?
He's gonna have like ace 4, ace deuce, maybe ace 5, he'll call, stuff like that.
Yeah. Old king. Alright, I think we'll do a couple more and we'll wrap up for
Mhm.
tonight.
Alright, so the
queen of
eights, we're gonna
spades.
call here,
Bottom
probably, may,
range.
yeah, we just call.
Gonna find it quick.
So I don't like having a queen, cuz I feel like we're blocking what we're targeting. If it was king 8, I could get on board.
Good call.
We play check.
Check out.
Yeah, fold.
With the queen of spades instead of
Queen,
the
yep.
8 of spades.
You read my
maybe
mind,
find
that's,
some calls.
you read my mind. I was thinking it might even, well, it won't raise.
The 3 straight 3 flush. No direct
So-
equity on the turn.
Very low, this will be low frequency again. High
Other,
frequency call. We will probably play check call here.
Yeah, we interact pretty well. Right? Our hand strength is better.
Mm-hmm. Still gonna play check call, I think. Okay, he's got king X he can bluff catch with now. I'm going like. 6 or 8.5, I think.
I agree.
They're 8.5. Great choices. The snowman.
Okay, low jack, it may be a little more popular as a raise, but I still think it's just gonna be call mainly.
You can find a
Yeah.
little raise. And OD
Ooh.
eights. Gonna get in
Um,
trouble.
I think we can mix calls and folds here. It's gotta be close, right? No, it's just folds. Too big of a bet.
55% size.
What do we got? What do we
A little
got?
too chunky.
Raise call.
Ooh. How frequently are you 3-betting this one?
You could jam this low frequency, I think. And
Oh, isn't this not a low, not a high frequent, like you should be 3, I guess if your size is jam, right? But I think
You're
it's
gonna
call a
have-
lot, right? Doesn't you
you're
call this a
I think
lot?
this is a pure 3-bet.
You're gonna have
Um,
low frequency jams, high frequency 3-bet, maybe low frequency calls.
So. Who does this become a jam against? Like, high frequency?
Oh, it's
Cutoff?
gonna be like cutoff, like verse steals, definitely, you're gonna be
Yeah.
piling this.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think cutoff as well. So I agree with Galen. I think it's like 90% 3-bet and then slivers of jamming.
Yeah, I like that answer, Nick. I think that's gonna be very much the heuristic here. I think it's gonna be almost a pure 3-bet. Never mind, some jams. More
Hello.
than I would have thought.
I wouldn't find this.
Wait, oh, because we're 30 big blinds deep. I was remembering it's like 60 big or 70 big blinds you can
Yeah.
call.
9s and 10s. and
When you're
ace
30
queen.
big blinds, you just get it in. You don't fucking care. You're not folding it. You're gonna get it in. You want to get it in, and you don't lose much. Just 3-bet or AL in.
Okay, well, we 3-bet and we have to c-bet.
That's a
Pair
bad,
isn't
that's
really
a.
relevant. Our spade is.
Yeah, you would drive Ken nuts with these things.
Mixing its sizes. Prefers the bigger sizing here, though.
Yeah, so at like 40 big blinds, it's kind of goofy with SPR is like the only thing I've been able to like make sense of. Cause Louis. For the longest time, I was like quarter pot guy with these. But, Louis has definitely converted me to the half pot size, and I think it just makes for like a clean geometric bet scheme. Wow, we call. You gotta just check, you got the nuts, man.
No, you absolutely check.
Okay,
Fold.
thank
Keep him in the tournament. We staked him.
you. Got it.
All right, well, that's probably a pretty good one to wrap up on tonight. So all of these study sessions are going to be available on YouTube. You can search for us at Slippery Rock
Seems
99
pretty.
YouTube. Our coach Louis Philippe, who runs the study session in the morning. Credits to Jonathan Little and Poker Coaching and God's Big Toe, who also runs study sessions that we all check in on. They do a lot of great work with that. And yeah, we are also available on Discord. Feel free to reach out to us. Poker Study for You. And we will be back next week on Monday with pre-flop range construction, starting on the button. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy this. Good
Thanks for the
hunting, guys.
session.
What
Thank
are
you.
the,
Have a
it's
good one.
always